Cops don't like me, so I don't like cops.
Badges don't grant extra rights. This is Cop Block Radio on the FPRN Radio Network. Here are your hosts, Eric, Adam, and Scott.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday, December 11th show. The Wednesday, December 11th episode of Copblock Radio Show. Sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather. I am your host, Scott. With me today is Adam. Eric is a little bit inaccessible currently, but I think that we do have
Anton.
Oh. Adam, are you there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep.
How we doing, man?
Good. Yeah.
How are you guys making out over there on the other side of the country?
Yeah. Yeah, but no, like you were saying, yeah, we have Anthony with us, or Anton with us, joining us tonight. So we do have three still tonight.
Yeah, Adam's pulling we have three hosts, so it's okay not to be here. I've been doing it a lot too recently. I feel really bad about it. I've been like either sick or out of town or just freaking working my ass off.
Shame on you.
And last week we were getting ready to do like show prep and stuff, and I'm like still actually working. I was like, why is it 9 o'clock at night and I'm still working? And then I got to get my ass out of bed early and go back to work. So Eric's pretty good about being here. He's always here. So we're more than happy to fill in for with just the three of us.
Yes, completely.
Yeah. What have you guys been up to out in Washington? Anything good going on?
Oh, lots of fun stuff.
So before the show, we're sitting here talking, and we started talking about this one article. You know, we're talking about, show prep and stuff, and it was just something I had never seen before. So do you guys want to just go ahead and get right into this, like, crazy video?
Oh, dude, it's hilarious, man. That's good.
Absolutely. That's what we've been doing in Washington, exercising our mutual combat laws.
This is insanity. Like, this is the best law ever.
It is. It's awesome. So we've got, if I can figure out how to use my computer again here. We got the police in Seattle. This is in Seattle. There's a video that surfaced. The police department actually stood by and allowed one of our citizen patrol people. They dress up in costume and go out and patrol the streets. Well, we had some drunk college kids decide that they wanted to screw with him and pick a fight with him. Well, basically, he agreed. The police showed up, and they basically told the police officer they were going to box, and the police officer allowed, because here in Washington we allow mutual combat, which is where both parties agree, and we have witnesses that can verify that both parties agreed to basically box it out.
Well, and our superhero there is Phoenix Jones, ex-military and former MMA fighter with a 4-0-0 record. And then we've got the drunk college kid who's just he's getting ready to add to that record.
Completely.
So,
he completely did.
For those of you who don't know who this Phoenix Jones guy is, I can't think of what his superhero name is, but he's the guy that walks
Phoenix
around.
Jones.
That is his superhero.
That's the superhero name. Yeah, his real name is Benjamin John Francis.
Yes. So he literally walks around the streets in Washington, in Seattle, and wears a freaking black and gold superhero, straight up Batman lookalike costume. And I saw that I've seen all kinds of little video clips and stuff on him. So he's kind of like, this is somebody that I knew who it was. And I've never been to Washington, but I knew who this guy was. And then whenever I saw the video, I mean, they just like they just threw down right in the street, and my mind is still blown, guys.
Yeah, a little background on the Rain City superhero movement that Phoenix Jones heads up is everyone's required at least a minimum of a military background. So it's not just a bunch of guys who want to go out and fight. I mean, they've got a really good idea of what's going on there. Law enforcement knows them, and they adapted the wearing of the costumes so bystanders, witnesses, and law enforcement upon arrival could identify good guys versus bad guys, which, you know, and there's also the protective nature of it. So, you know, the guy can actually go out to dinner with his family without some thug wanting to walk up on him and be like, hey, you beat me up last night.
He's like Bruce Wayne. I mean, I don't know if he's rich, but like,
they do suggest that if you're going to join, that you have a career that will provide you the ability to wander around endless nights doing what they do.
Yeah.
So if you're working at McDonald's, you're not joining.
Employed doing?
Now what?
Like, what's he gainfully employed doing? That he's like, oh, I'm just gonna go walk around tonight. It's cool if I, get into a fight. I don't like. Sometimes I just wonder, like, how do people have so much time on their hands? Like, I barely have enough time to do the show, and this is 2 hours a week, and there's weeks that I struggle, man. I don't understand how people do it.
You gotta let go, man.
So anyway, the video, this drunk dude and him just, I mean, throw down right in the street, and you can tell immediately that he is going to kick this dude's ass royally. And
oh, completely, you can tell. It's just his feet work. He comes out with his feet, and you're just like, oh, yeah, this guy's done.
Yeah, he gives him the dirt nap, man. That guy was. I wish it would have been better video. Like, if anybody follows like World Star Hip Hop videos on YouTube or on like Twitter, I always get them off of Twitter. It's just people getting cold cocked. And like, if you're ever in a fight, so like the only advice I ever have for a fight, even though like if somebody's trying to fight you and they're aggressing against you, you should defend yourself. But if someone yells World Star, you better fight harder. Because
that shit's going on YouTube.
Like you immediately must turn on the crazy button. Like, you have
defend
to
your honor.
Get wild with it, because it's going out there. Not that I'm advocating for that.
No.
But man, the videos are so good.
This video, it's just awesome. Though it's awesome to see the cops actually standing back, respecting the law, and letting them box, and then intervening afterwards when actually necessary. When necessary, when it was actually starting to get out of hand, when other people were trying to get involved and fight too. It was beautiful to see the police do that, and they stepped in very non-aggressively. They weren't like pull out their batons and beat people. It was, get in the way and be like, no, dude, you're not doing this. It was good stuff.
So I'm still like this thing's still here. I can't get my head wrapped around the fact that they were angry at each other, so they called the cops, and the cops came and watched them get into a fight.
Yeah.
Man, that's craziness. Like, usually the cops are coming in there like all hard peckered, like clubs ready.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Show up in their Bearcat.
But again, it was these guys go out and do this all the time. The police are aware that they do this, and basically they call the cops, tell them, hey, we've got an issue going on. The cops show up ready to help with the situation that these guys can't handle themselves. And it's not it's all out of control. We have to come in and bust the place. They know these guys. They know that they're out there going to doing a good thing.
Yeah, this isn't a first time go around that law enforcement in Seattle knows who these guys are, especially the areas they patrol. So when the cops showed up, they respond to a call of some guys in costumes are in an issue with somebody else. It's the cops go, oh, okay, we know who that is. They show up, they see what's going on, and the video shows. They talk to them. Phoenix Jones gives the drunk guys plenty of opportunities just to shut up and walk away. They progress. It's agreed in front of the cop that they're going to exercise Washington State's mutual combat laws. It happens. As soon as the guy hits the ground, Jones walks away, and the drunk guy's buddy starts getting louder and wanting to aggress. And that's when law enforcement actually steps in, does their job they're paid to do, and straightens out the situation while Phoenix Jones and his group walk away like it's supposed to.
Big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later. I mean, and that's the thing, I mean, whenever I was in school, and after that, I would, I saw a lot of fights. I mean, I never saw anybody get stabbed. I've seen some guns get pulled, but I've never seen anybody get shot or stabbed or anything. But it was like, you know, people just beat the shit out of each other. Then you get up and like, oh well, I got my ass kicked today, and all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and go get drunk at home. But now, like, people, I think that the intentions behind this are actually probably helping, because it's kind of a controlled environment. People are going to settle their differences, and then once the differences are settled and someone gets their ass kicked and somebody doesn't, you just walk away.
Yep.
It's not like 25 people, jumping in and beating the shit out of each other, banging people's heads off the concrete. I mean, he knocked the dude out. The guy dropped.
Yeah.
And he just turned around and walked away. So it was kind of like he respected the guy enough as a man not to take advantage of a person who's unconscious.
Well, that's part of the mutual combat law. Is the fight can continue until one person hits the ground, and then the fight is done legally. If you persist after that, you're now violating the law,
assault.
And it's assault. It's
Really?
Yes. So the law is written very nice in a way to protect people from that.
So you guys got a
Once-
big night
once-
ahead of you, huh?
Yeah. Once one goes down, it's over.
Have you seen people exercise this?
we've got video of it right
You
here.
got video right there, man.
I mean, like out on the street. Like, have you ever witnessed this?
I've seen people fight and not go to jail for it.
Around the cops?
Yeah, a couple times at the bar, I've seen
yeah.
it too. You just as far as I understand, you just have to have law enforcement there to acknowledge from that legal standpoint that this is a mutual fight. Because, I mean, at that point, nothing much stops you from knocking a dude out and be like, no, he totally agreed to this. He doesn't remember because I knocked him out.
That guy's over there seeing butterflies and bunnies.
Well, at least he got a really close-up view of the concrete.
That guy right there inspecting the sidewalk. So what else you guys got going on over there? Anything else going on? It's been really quiet around me, which is nice. I like it that way. I'm serious, dude. Like, it's there was a couple years there where it was just like, all you want to do is like tell the cops to fuck off every 2 minutes. Like, they were everywhere. They were like cockroaches, and they kind of backed off a little bit. Did we talk about the conversation that I had with the cop the one day? For parking
Which
like
one?
a dick.
Which one?
I was leaving my house the one day, and I'm real big on, you're a cop, you're here for, public safety. So you should not, in any way, shape, or form, create a bigger hazard, especially when there's no emergency. So, by where I live in my town, there's a pizza shop, and the corners, like around, where at the intersection, are painted in yellow, so people don't park there. So, people can safely pull in and pull out of the roads, and they can see.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving my house the one day, and I get up, and people always park in the yellow no parking zone.
Yeah.
Right in front of this pizza shop, and it's like it drives me nuts. So I'm sitting there thinking, for the past couple months, like, I can't wait, because I've seen cops do it, but I've never taken a picture of it, and I'm like, next time I see a cop do that, I'm taking a picture of that shit, and I'm gonna talk to him about it. So I the other day it happened, and I pulled in, and I saw there was a homeless woman out in front of this pizza place, which is pretty much out of the norm for where I'm from, and this cop is like pulled into the yellow completely, and there's 2 spaces in front of him. His lights are not on, so he just looks like a parked car. So I walk up, I start taking pictures of it. So I go to look and see what he's doing. Well, he's inside talking to the people behind the counter. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to go get my video camera. So I walk back, I grab my video camera, and as I'm like screwing around with it, he comes walking out, and I can't like turn it on quick enough. And I'm just like, hey man, I go, you parked illegally. And he just like looked at me like he just gave me this huge WTF look. Like, I can't believe you just said that to me.
I
said it
am
again.
a
I go,
police
"Hey."
officer. How dare you?
I go, hey man, you're parked illegally. You can't park there. He goes, well, I was over here. I go, yeah, you were inside. I said something like along the lines of, yeah, you were inside getting pizza. I saw you stand at the counter. And then he pointed at this homeless lady like it was a complaint or something. And I go, you're really setting a bad example. And he just like jaw dropped, like didn't even. It was a younger guy, and he just like didn't even know what to say. And he just like got in his car and he pulled it up like 10 feet. And I turned around and walked away. I was like, "You little punk ass."
I'm older than you. You may be a cop.
Look here, you got that little pussy gun on your hip. So yeah, it's been pretty quiet around here, which is nice, man. I don't have time for it.
So I'm gonna have to like totally yell at the producer here. What's going on with the chat, producer? We can't post the links in the chat, or some links. It's not allowing us to, or it's not letting me see them.
Yeah. It doesn't like you. So one of the big benefits of you using FPRN is that we do the show live, and the reason we do the show live is so we can get the listeners to call in. You can listen to it live. Or in podcast form. So if you want to call in, we always appreciate that. Call in at 567-314-9296. Hit the 1 2 3 4 and then the pound, and it'll bring you in the queue. You'll talk to our producer. Or a better way to do it is to Skype in, and if you add our producers FPRN Radio Live, they'll add you back. You can Skype, you can chit chat back and forth, and then we'll bring you on the show. But we definitely encourage that, and we appreciate it. We want to hear, what you guys have going on, what's happening in your area, some things that you're looking for. Maybe you need some help with some things. We've had some pretty cool guests recently. Whenever we had, we've had Carlos Miller, Jeffrey Gray, the girls from Lady of Copblock. We've had some really cool people.
Oh yeah, we've had tons.
We're freaking Ben Swan.
Yeah, we had Ben Swan. That was awesome.
No big deal.
That was awesome. He's doing a lot these days too, so being a busy guy. You seen any of his recent stuff he's been doing?
Yeah, I actually saw that there was somebody that actually validated his whole, Syria and what's going on with that. Some other journalists like came out and was like, yeah, he's spot on. He did do a thing on what's that thing called? The 3D printed pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He did an article on the passing of the law to make these things illegal. There was the DC lawmakers were trying to pass a law to make the 3D printed firearms illegal, and apparently there was like 10 people there for the vote. But I know that I'm from Pennsylvania, and in Philadelphia, which is like the Pennsylvania equivalent of California, they if you have a concealed weapons permit in Pennsylvania, that's good for Pennsylvania. You're a resident, and Philadelphia just thinks it can do whatever it wants, and it's like basically tells you that you can't conceal a firearm legally in the city limits. So and it actually says you have to open carry, but it says that you can't open carry if you don't have a permit, which is complete BS. Like, I don't need someone to tell me that I can't openly carry a firearm because I can. And even the Constitution,
because I can.
The Constitution even says that I can.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but Philadelphia, they banned the printing of a frickin' firearm. It's insanity. But Ben Swan did a pretty good article on that. What else did he do recently?
He's doing a whole bunch of stuff with Luke. It's Luke Radowski.
Yeah.
Doing a ton of stuff with him. They're joining up and doing that whole brain fart. What the heck is it? Wow, yeah, it'll come to me in a second. I'll figure it out.
You take a 10. You take a stop, take a breath, count to 10.
That's right.
What's your thoughts?
Right. I'll get this. We're okay.
Yeah. So what else we got going on? There was the incident up in New York where the police department they were serving a warrant, I guess, at this people's house in Staten Island. And it was like a family, and they break in, and I mean, really, it's breaking in, warrant or not, but they open the door forcefully, and they go in and they're, arguing with the people. And I think it was over something to do with like a parking cone in front of their house. They were trying to save a parking space, but I don't even know if it was them or not. The article that I read didn't say. But what happened was like the cops basically broke in. They of course trashed their house, which is what they always do, and they freaking killed their bird. Like, it's a freaking, it was like a little parakeet or something like that. And the cop, like the lady screaming, like, not like that's the bird, the daughter of this family. And the cop's like, fuck that bird. And he stepped on it.
He stepped on it?
Like, how small does your penis have to be that you have to step on a little girl's bird?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm starting to get the idea that part of
Really?
being a cop is hating family pets.
Yeah.
It's
you
so
cannot
true,
like
man.
animals.
I
That's
mean,
ridiculous.
This cop should be disarmed and tossed out in the woods with Smokey the Bear and see what happens.
I think that last week we talked about, was it Iceland that had their first cop shooting by the police? We talked about that last week.
Yes.
Yeah, it was last week's. Yeah.
Like, first one ever. Like the first comment on a YouTube video, like first. How does that happen? Because their cops are nothing like what we have here now. It
I
didn't
think
used to be
that-
this way. I want to go back to that.
I think it might have something to do with a larger percentage of their population actually graduates high school.
I don't know, man. That's a pretty good point.
That's, yeah.
Uh, our producer's ripping on Adam for being able to print a picture of a firearm.
Nah, he's just screwing with me. Did you see this other awesome? Okay, not awesome, but awesome. Okay, yeah, whatever.
It's a semi-positive story.
Yes, semi-positive story.
It'll start to piss you off, and then when you get to the point of the story, it'll just make you feel all warm inside.
Yes. So, do you remember the officer out of D.C. that took the naked photography pictures of the young 15-year-old girl?
Yeah, this is the guy that went back to the house because she was like
Yep.
missing for 3 days.
Yep,
Yeah.
we just talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He'd taken all the photos, tried to delete them, blah, blah, blah. Well, Mark was charged with production of child pornography on December 2nd, according to court records. Mark Washington was to report Tuesday at 10 a.m. for his electronic monitoring orientation for his program, and he was ordered to ordered to home confinement and to stay away from minors who are not immediate family.
Like it would have stopped him.
What?
The whole family thing wouldn't have stopped him. I
Well,
mean,
no,
if you're gonna photograph one minor, what's the
You're-
difference between whether it being related or not?
You're a
Yep.
pederast,
Well-
and they're telling you that you can be close to children in your family. Most
Yeah.
sexual deviants, take advantage of children that they know, like family.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually where it starts.
So that's like some straight, like, that guy should be death by sodomy.
Well, this is the
Oh.
better part right here.
It gets better.
Yeah.
He,
But wait, there's more.
Mr. Washington was found dead in the Washington Channel at Haynes Point.
Man, that's- I
At
hope it
Haynes
was
Point,
slow.
he was found dead. They're ruling this an apparent suicide.
Well, at least he did the right thing then.
Yeah, man.
See, like I said, it'll warm you up inside.
It's a little bit of both on this one. It's dirty bastard. Oh, he killed himself. All right.
6 of
Bad
this,
cop
half a
turned
dozen of the
good,
other.
good cop, huh?
Yeah. So I thought it was some good stuff.
So did you guys, did you want to talk about Nelson Mandela? I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal to what? Because Obama's Obama's role model died? Big deal.
Yeah. So
I mean, if
I
we're going to
don't
go
think
that route,
that's-
we might as well talk about Paul Walker, too.
yeah. I don't get into this, that shit. But I just like, the best part about it was the article that I read that was the most interesting that I actually gave a shit about was the fact that they had this guy who was like their sign language interpreter that stood beside everybody, and apparently it was bullshit. And the guy wasn't even speaking sign language; he was just moving his hands. I don't know who that guy is, but if he has a Bitcoin wallet, I'm sending him some for big balls.
That's amusing because usually those sign language interpreters actually have a legal and moral obligation to repeat word for word what's being said, and that's amusing. He's just up there throwing gang signs at people instead of saying what he's supposed to.
There's probably like 600,000 pissed off deaf people in the world because some dude pulled the wool over on like 5 people. Like, how did he get that job? I want to know who he is. I want to know how he got there. That's like
Somebody's like, "Hey, can you do sign language?" He's like, "Yeah, check this out." Woo, wah, wah.
Yeah.
They're like, "You're hired."
Well, yeah, I don't speak it, but so I mean, if I had to hire somebody to do a job, you speak sign language? Yeah, let me see how good you are. Awesome,
Dude, that looks cool.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
Next, they're gonna hire somebody with like stage 4 arthritis to do it.
Some dude with 3 fingers. How'd that work? Speaking of that, did you hear about what was the kid's name? I'm not sure if it was Hunter or something, but he was an elementary school age child, and he was deaf. And whenever you're a child, like your name, you have to figure out how to sign your name. And this kid's name, I want to say it was Hunter, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't Hunter. But the sign for his name was like if you would take your hands and cross, your first 2 fingers on both your hands and put your thumbs up, like make guns with both your hands, and then kind of like, act like you're shooting a gun.
Mm-hmm.
That was how his name was signed.
Yeah.
Like that's how he would say what his name was. And the school was trying to get him to change his name because he was signing his name in school. And they said that it was like, dangerous and offensive.
Yeah, because his fingers, such dangerous weapons. Really, they are, though.
There's no cure for stupid. I mean, there's like this week, there was just like so many kids that got kicked out of school for the dumbest reasons. One kid got in trouble. I think this is in Pennsylvania. He got in trouble for pretending to shoot someone with a bow and arrow with his hands.
Wow.
Yeah, and apparently
Where was this at?
I think this was in Pennsylvania in South Central PA somewhere.
Oh, no wonder.
And apparently, like some like civil liberties law center from Virginia found out about it, and they told the school like, "Look, you have a week to do something about this," because the school like suspended him.
Yeah.
And they're like, if you don't do something about it in a week, like we're gonna pretty much, take legal action against you, and you are also going to lose.
Craziness.
What
So,
else?
did you?
Go ahead.
I don't know if you're watching the chat, but I'm
No,
watching the chat.
I'm slacking.
And, Eric joined us on the chat.
Eric did. He's
Yeah.
alive.
Yes, and Dio asked us to talk about the guy that was with Paul Walker.
Who's that? Paul Walker. What?
Paul Walker, the car accident.
Never heard of him.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, you've never heard of him. Nope, never heard of him.
Okay, yeah. So the other one was this. There was a 6-year-old kid that was suspended. He kissed his classmate on the hand, and apparently there's an issue previous to that where I think he kissed this girl on the cheek, and she kissed him back, and he got in trouble once for roughhousing, and they suspended this kid, but they're also putting this as a like I don't want to say like it's like a sexual thing on his permanent record, like in his folder and shit like that. Like the kid is 6 years old. The kid can barely wipe his own butt. He probably can't even tie his own shoes.
He's probably wearing Velcro.
Probably rocking the Velcro.
Or slip-ons. There's nothing wrong with that. Slip-ons are cool when you're that age.
Hey, I'm 30 years old and they're still awesome.
That is a good point. They're nice for going outside when you don't want to put real shoes on.
That's right.
Take the garbage out.
It shows the world that you're willing to interact, but you're really not taking it seriously today.
Yeah. I respect your opinion. I just don't want to hear it.
All right. Well, we got to go to break, guys. So keep tuning in. We'll be right back with the Cop Block Radio Show.
Hi, I'm Trevor Moore. Due to the recent revelations that in order to fight terrorism, the NSA has been using a secret court order to spy on every single Verizon and AT&T customer, Americans have become outraged and concerned about their rights to privacy. But along with that concern comes a feeling of hopelessness. I mean, what can we do? Vote in new leaders? Well, the problem is that during an election, each candidate pretends to not be an asshole. Then when they get the job, they reveal that they've actually been a complete asshole this entire time. No, elections are of no use. The only way to fight back against our country's excessive wiretapping and data mining is to make it irrelevant. That's why we're launching Operation Everyone Talk Like a Terrorist all the time. If we all openly discuss terrorist plots in each of our phone conversations, then eavesdropping on those phone conversations becomes pointless. It's simple. We just need to work it into our daily vernacular. For example, instead of saying, "I love you," you could describe a terror attack. The larger the scale, the more you love the person.
Hi, Mom. I just got out of school. Can you pick me up?
I'll be there in 15 minutes. We use a truck bomb to blow up the Brooklyn Bridge.
I'm mailing anthrax to Pierce Morgan.
Or nonsense about God's will being great could mean affirmative.
Hey man, they have a 7:30 show, and do you think you can make it in time?
God is merciful and his love is unchanging. Did you already get me a ticket?
And those are just a few examples. You can make up your own. Have fun with it. But it's time for us to stand up and protect our rights. Because those assholes aren't going to.
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Michael Scheuer, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.
Hi, I'm Steve.
I'm Irene.
I'm Lisa.
My name is Tom.
I'm a graphic designer.
College freshman.
Stay-at-home mom with a full-time job.
Scholar on social policy and a barista.
And I'm just like you.
I'm an Obama supporter.
I support President Obama.
But the president needs your help.
Our president can't launch into another war without you. And remember, we promise to support him no matter what.
Together, we can do it.
That's why we here at the Americans for Whatever Barack Obama Wants, Did You Know He's Friends with Jay-Z, have launched a Kickstarter campaign to fund World War III.
And America is dead ass broke. So our goal is to raise $1.6 trillion on behalf of the U.S. government.
That's where you come in.
Even a small donation would make all the difference.
When I first saw the president speak in 2008, in a YouTube clip posted to my Facebook page, I knew he was going to be right all the time. So I support World War III and IV and any moon war the president may want to start.
I mean, there is no way that he or the cabal of corporate interests, spy agencies, and shadow bankers that tell him what to do would ever mislead us. A $25 donation will get you a piece of rubble from a war-torn Middle Eastern country kissed by Senator Lindsey Graham.
A $100 donation gets you a day pass to leave your local refugee camp.
You'll probably end up in a refugee camp, but it'll have free Wi-Fi.
So please, help us reach our goal of $1.6 trillion so we can make World War III a reality. Why? Because Obama.
Because Obama.
To think something so small could control you.
And everything you do.
When your life and all you love
are on the line.
The RFID chip is always with you, threatening your privacy, causing severe risk to your health and personal safety, and killing you if you do not obey rogue government demands.
Because I want to increase my risk of cancer.
Because I want to live in a cash-free society.
Because now, the government is looking out for us.
Because I have the mark of the beast, but it doesn't have me.
Ask your doctor how to get your chip implanted today.
Because we want to track your every move.
What's better than silver? Free silver, of course, which is what you'll get by partaking in Sons of Liberty Mint's weekly silver giveaways. It's fun, it's easy, and it's your chance to win 4 fine silver quarters. That's 1 ounce of .999 fine silver from Sons of Liberty Mint. All you have to do is guess the close of spot price each week for your chance to win. Visit sonsoflibertymint.com/contest for more details. That's SUNS, sonsoflibertymint.com.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.
You are an old man who thinks in terms of nations and peoples. There are no nations. There are no peoples. There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no West. There is only one holistic system of systems.
I will MK Ultra ya. Put the MK scope on ya. If the MK hits you, it's guaranteed to open ya. The 57mm Mark 110. 220 rounds a minute, try to stop them. Don't put that on your wish list. That's retarded babble. Protesters make the hit list.
All right, we are back. This is the Cop Block Radio Show. I'm your host, Scott. With me, I have Adam. Eric is apparently in the chat. And Anthony is with us again this week. If you're listening to us on the podcast, we do the show live every Wednesday night from 9:30 to 11:30 Eastern. You can catch us at FPRN Radio or FPRN Radio on Wednesday nights. Adam, you got a little quiet over there, bud.
Sorry, Mike muted again.
You need a hug or something? You sound a little down.
I do. You gonna come over here and give me a hug?
Nah, I'm good. That's not. Right. No, it's not my department. So I'm sitting here thinking.
Anton, give me a hug.
What's that? Anton, you're in the hug department, bro. So I was sitting here thinking about you guys being in Washington, and what was the country that came out today? Not that this has anything to do with it. Well, I mean, sort of. You know, this bullshit war on drugs. What was the country that came out today and legalized the, possession, growth, and sale of marijuana?
That was what was that? Uganda or
Uganda or Uruguay or something?
Uganda
something like that?
or yeah.
So Washington State setting precedents again. Mm-hmm. Now, not just states, but entire countries legalizing. Mm-hmm. Somebody's on the right track, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you see Colorado? Did their stuff the other day, figuring out all their stuff for the recreational. I don't remember which part.
Kind of sad you got to sit around and wait for a government to legalize your idea of a good time.
Yeah, it is. It's wait for the state to tell us what plants we can and can't grow and use however which way we feel like using them. It's out of control that way. So Scott, you got a good article, or you want me to pick one?
No, I got another good one. I actually found one on the I found one that I don't think that we talked about this yet. It's the one it's up in New York City, because New York City is like a gold mine, plethora of shenanigans by the police department. So this article was about this guy, Glenn Broadnax, or however you pronounce his last name, who's 35. What had happened back in September was, I guess he was, having some problems with depression and anxiety, and he was, trying to kill himself by, stepping in front of a moving vehicle in New York City. So, the police were called, and they were trying to apprehend this guy. Well, I guess he had gotten knocked down and he was kind of like disoriented. And what happened was, whenever he went to get back up, the cops are yelling, trying to apprehend him. And the guy started, running erratically and, evading them. And so they opened fire on this dude. They claimed that he had taken his hands out of his pockets and he was thought to have a gun on him. So they opened fire. Well, they didn't hit the guy, luckily for him. Unfortunately, two women who just happened to be standing in the area were both struck by people who are paid to carry a firearm.
And required to be good with it.
Right. Yeah. So these two cops who, I guess it says that both of them are less than 3 years experience. They shot these two women who had to go to the hospital. I guess they recovered, but they're actually charging this guy who was, the original suspect or, perpetrator, whatever you want to call him. They're charging him with, shooting these women. And he's facing up to 25 years. Like, what? This does not compute. Please, somebody, please explain to me how this can happen to where a man who is, mentally challenged or having, mental difficulties is facing felony assault charges with the possibility of 25 years in prison and felony on his record when two douchebag cops shot two innocent people because they thought they weren't going to get home to their families at the end of the day, because officer safety is the most important thing.
What's interesting is that while they were trying to shoot him, they miss and shoot bystanders. Most law enforcement agencies in the country require everyone to put at least 30 rounds downrange per week. So 3 years experience, they say, is only 3 years and not much. But that's still, when you do the math, that's 4,680 rounds they've had to put down range. And they managed to, in a magazine's capacity, kill two innocent people. Or just injure. Either way, it's where's your target?
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure, I don't know much about, what the requirements are for training and stuff like that. It blows my mind. And even, the attorney for one of these people that were shot, he's like, it's the police who injured my client. He's like, it's an incredibly unfortunate use of prosecutorial discretion to be prosecuting a man who didn't even injure my client. So his client is being forced to press charges against someone that didn't even hurt them. Like, it's almost like he's being charged with a victimless crime, but there's a victim, but it wasn't his victim.
Yeah.
Like, that falls under the same mindset of arresting somebody for resisting arrest.
Right. Yeah. What am I under arrest for? Resisting arrest. What the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does this work?
I mean, and it's funny because I know that we had talked about this a couple months ago. There was 9 people outside the Empire State Building that were shot whenever the one ex-employee at the Empire State Building went up and he shot his old boss.
Mm-hmm.
Went in, shot the guy, came outside, and then the cops opened up fire on this guy. And I can't remember if they killed him or not, but they shot 9 separate people. Like, how can you shoot that many people and not get in trouble?
Yeah.
Like, if I pull my gun out in self-defense, I'm going to have to go to court and defend myself. I should have been a cop.
I'm having that same thought.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like my morals are getting in the way of me doing whatever I want.
Right. I'm thinking that we need to stop spending so much money on law enforcement and getting nice, accurate firearms. The way they're shooting, they'd be just better off with a coffee can full of explosives or an old school blunderbuss, a handful of rocks and some explosive, and just shoot that direction.
Yeah, officer safety. I'm afraid of officer safety.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're about to infringe on some of my rights. So what were you going to get into there? That's end rant. What were you going to get into, Adam?
Oh, Anthony's got one pulled up here. It's the wow, where'd it go? Oh, the title of the story is Meet the 17-year-old boy who blew the lid off racial profiling with his iPod.
He's in New York, 17-year-old kid. New York has this infamous stop and frisk program, also known to officers as a 250, where they're just supposed to randomly stop people and violate every civil liberty they possibly can. And so the 17-year-old kid I kind of see as an honorary cop blocker because he's doing what we're doing without even paying attention. In the video, he gets stopped by cops, and then not even a block later gets stopped again. The cops in this area, you get the feeling, know this guy, but he's just a quick 250 to them. And he got tired of it and turned on his iPod to record one of the encounters without the officers knowing. And they go as far as pushing him, trying to get him to react in a physical nature so they'd have him on assault or anything. They go as far as calling him, well, we stopped you because you look like a mutt. I mean, if that's not racial profiling, it's getting out of hand.
Didn't they outlaw racial or stop and frisk? I thought they stopped that.
No, it's actually
no. I think it's gotten worse.
Through the video, they actually have a couple officers whose identities are being protected, and for good reason. But they point out that even their police chief, I believe it was, is quoted for saying, "We're going to go out there and violate some rights today."
I mean, at least he recognizes the fact that he's, that he's wrong.
Well, and the cops who are part of the video even say that they don't want to do it, but they're actually taking actions against cops who don't meet their not quotas of these 250s, that they're supposed to have so many stops, and if they don't, then they start getting in trouble. Given the police chief even goes as far as giving them really bad detail as far as, okay, you by yourself, not with a partner, are going to go to this really crappy part of town, and basically backs them into unsafe corners for not doing these violations. So it's, some of these cops, quote unquote, being good cops, are being forced into violating rights and doing things unjustly just so they don't have to deal with the backlash of not doing it and getting sent into bad situations alone or whatever. I mean, it's really not good for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to continue because, they don't see it as they're trying to, I feel like the days where, cops wanted to make a difference, I feel like that's not what it is anymore. Like, they don't want to make it a better place to live in. They want to, get promotions. They want to work on their retirement. They want to get in, they want to get out, and they want to spend the rest of their lives living off the money that was stolen from innocent, hardworking people that didn't necessarily appreciate or want the service that they were providing. It's not, we don't live in Mayberry anymore. And some are just following orders, yeah. I feel like the people who morally should be police officers are not, because their morals get in the way of it.
And you got here also. This is interesting. In the one of the articles I found on this story, it talks about, in the course of the 2-minute recording, the officers gave no legal valid reason for the stop, used racially charged language, and threatened Alvin with violence. Earlier in the stop, one of the officers asked, "Do you want me to smack you?" When Alvin asks why he's being threatened with arrest, the other officer responds, "For being a fucking mutt." Later in the stop, while holding Alvin's arm behind his back, the first officer says, "Dude, I'm going to break your fucking arm. Then I'm going to punch you in the fucking face." I mean, this is yeah. Pretty
That's
fucking ridiculous.
That's some straight world star.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I can't help it. I love that. I'm a white boy. I love that shit. I can't help it. It's a great website. It's good, man.
You're on YouTube too much, I think.
I'm not, man. I used to be on YouTube a lot more than I am. I don't have time for it, but the 6-second Vine, man, that's good stuff. People just getting cold cocked.
Okay, but are these people who are expecting it, or is this more of that stupid knockout game that I'm waiting to shoot somebody on?
A lot of the stuff is, people who are, getting into fights, or two chicks fighting. There was some crazy viral one of these 2 chicks fighting, but people who play the knockout game just deserve to be just parking coned in the rectum.
That's awesome. I have not heard that one before.
I'm totally using that later when I get home.
That they tried to They were in the mall somewhere, and this guy tried to, bust a knockout game on this girl, and she just, it happens real quick, and all of a sudden she's beating the shit out of him, and this dude comes out of like left field and just punts the guy right in the face while he's on the ground. It's like, that's right. You hit a woman, you deserve it. You deserve to get kicked punted right in the face.
All right, Scott. So with your punching videos here. Our producer tells us we have a caller on the Skype line there, and I'm not sure if we have a name.
Yes, this is Grimmy the ANCAP Dalek.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? How are you? Thanks for calling in.
Not much. Now, I kind of found out something. Now, have you guys heard of this? ATF agents set up then arrest mentally disabled men uncovering and then undercover stings. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Yeah, actually, I think we have that in our prep here. We just haven't touched base on that yet. Let me get it pulled up. We can talk about it.
So so what happened? I'm not familiar with this one. Anybody?
Loading.
Loading. I don't know, fuck.
So, caller, what were you saying about what was this article that you found?
Well, it was just like it was straight off of RT and stuff, and it was like really amazing. Why would you actually do that to some mentally disabled person and then actually make them into much of that suspect? I mean, even though that person really didn't know very much of anything better, and you didn't have very much of the time, and you're like, hey, maybe I can actually fuck with this person and make his life worse.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of goes back to that point that we were talking about earlier. That it's not about stopping crime. It's not about anything but getting arrests, being famous, working on your promotions, and working on your retirement.
Yep, revenue generation, living off the idea that advantages are not taken or not handed out, but taken, and that's exactly what they were doing in this. I mean, if this mentally challenged person was a witness or whatever against the state would say that he was unfit to be a proper witness, but yet he's completely legit and okay to send out in the field to be bait for a cop and everything else, and that's double standards that don't work out.
Yeah, no, I completely agreed there. It's there was actually I've got another article here talking about another one. This seems to be getting much more common now. This is coming out that they're using mentally handicapped individuals to help with any sort of bust of any kind, whether it be for guns or drugs or anything. It's they set these guys up because they're easy to manipulate. They'll listen to basically any order they give them, and then they can turn around and pin it on them. And these people have no idea what's going on whatsoever. They don't have the mental capability to understand that they're being just flat out used and then blamed for the situation. So it's sickening.
A new low in our society, dude, right now.
I'm sorry?
It's a new low.
It is completely a new low. It's stooping down to use someone that doesn't know any better to do something that you can't accomplish on your own, obviously. And if you can't accomplish it and you have to use them, then obviously you shouldn't be trying to do it. It's obviously not that big of a problem then if you have to stoop to that point. It seems more like to me that they've become desperate. They're desperate in trying to make up bad people and make people look bad, to arrest people, to keep it looking like they're doing their jobs.
And you and I both know that they're not doing their own jobs that was even intended to do, nor should it ever be actually used. We should actually have our own communities looking out at each other, not these fucking people that actually wear a goddamn snitch and have a gun and just say that they are above the law.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy. No, the police were never put in to do what they're doing now at all. That was not the point.
As you look further into that article about them using, as they refer to in the article, as low IQ informants, they actually talked to kids who were hanging out in this head shop, which turned out to be a front for the ATF to do their thing. But it even goes further than just using them, but they went as far as paying for them to go down and get tattoos on their neck to support the shop being ran by ATF agents, which they later found out down the road as they were being arrested and booked into jail that tattoo was just an advertisement for an ATF-fronted operation, and then they turn around to call it the acts of rogue agents because they don't want to take responsibility for using these low IQ informants.
Yeah, and not only that, they're actually doing that to children inside schools and shit. They're actually taking mentally disabled children, well, to put it into the technical term, special needs children, and they're actually using them just to actually take out other people's, which are actually not doing anything wrong. I mean, these kids are just smoking weed or having cigarettes or whatnot. And, they're just actually just destroying their own lives with also the special needs child.
No, yeah, it's not even that. That's part of, if anything, it's part of growing up is experimenting in high school with shit like that. So to go in and convince these people to bust these other people for doing something that we all did and are going to keep doing is freaking stupid.
Well, and as one person suggested, there's already enough crime out there. Why are you going out there to create it? You're talking autistic kids into buying pot so you can arrest them. I'm pretty sure there's some tweakers down the road who are buying dope that you could actually get a better stick on.
Yeah, no lie, dude.
Scott, you got anything for that? On top of that?
No, I mean I've seen so many cases of this where people were arrested and later on they would talk about, and like the same thing kind of goes for the freaking bullshit war on terror. They'll set these people up who are incapable of on their own committing this act of this alleged crime. They're incapable of doing it or thinking that without having someone planting the seed and coercing them into doing it, and the person pays the price because they got fooled into some BS trap and it ruins their life, and somebody else gets a promotion and goes home to their family.
Let us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories.
Well, I mean, I don't know what Russian communist dictator said it, but if you show me the person, I'll show you the crime. It's like this one thing that you are guilty until proven innocent, but not innocent until proven guilty. It's the whole society. They're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna take you into jail and get our money back. Fuck.
Yeah, it's profits centered around entrapment.
Oh yeah, no lie, dude.
ATF agent, hey, so you're looking to buy some pot? Yeah, well, I got some. Oh, now you just bought pot from a cop. You're going to jail. Well, I only bought it because you offered it. How about some possession law there?
That's right. Well, I hate to cut you guys off, but we're coming right up on the break here. Thank you, caller, for calling in and talking with us. Bring up some good points.
Well, oh man, so I can't be on the next show. I can't be on the next hour. Damn.
If you want to hang with you got more. We can hold you through the break and see what you got.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, we got to go to break, guys. Thanks for tuning in right now. Make sure you stick through the commercial break. You're listening to the Cop Block Radio Show on FPRN.
All operators are busy.
Oh God, please help me. He's got a knife.
You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy. Please stay on the line for the next available emergency operator. You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy. Please stay on.
911 operator, what's your emergency, please? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Last year in the United States, thousands and thousands of 911 calls went unanswered. And if you call from a cell phone, there's no way to pinpoint where you are. Yet politicians like Dianne Feinstein call for more gun control. We have one question. Why do these politicians have armed bodyguards? Can't they just call 911?
Now I'm covered.
Now for the first time, you can be covered. If you've been waiting to be covered in mandates, regulations, and new fees, the time is finally here. Sort of. So make some coffee.
I'm covered.
Approach life with reckless abandon. Kick your feet up. I'm covered. Because you're going to be in the waiting room for quite a while. But don't you worry your pretty little head off. First of all, it wouldn't be covered.
We're covered.
No, I said it would not be covered.
Now we're covered.
No, that's not... Yeah, I don't think you understood what I meant by covered earlier. It was a little bit ironic. Healthcare.gov is not responsible for fulfilling any of the expectations, mandates, legal requirements, hopes, or dreams of any users. Results may vary. Consult your Obamacare-approved doctor or pharmacist to find out if Obamacare is right for you. Current waiting lists to have your doctor chosen for you are unavailable and will remain so for the foreseeable future. Obamacare may cause wait times, a decline in healthcare quality, money loss, political activism, anger, despair, hopelessness, frustration, European envy, dependence, and nausea. If you discover that your premiums have gone up as a result of Obamacare, please note that the program is working as intended and refrain from complaining. Call your doctor if you experience anxiety for longer than 4 hours. If you wish to opt out of Obamacare for any reason, please start a multi-million-dollar business, join a union, or run for Congress.
Mr. President, members of Congress, you've been making a lot of noise about taking our guns away. But you might want to review history. 1835, Gonzales, Texas Territory. The authorities wanted to confiscate the big gun that protected that colony. You know what the people said? Come and take it. Because they were willing to fight for their freedom and their guns. So are we.
Come and take it if you want it. Come and take it if you think you can. Come and take it, but I warn you, you'll have to pry it from my cold dead hands. We want the freedom that God gave us, so you best not cross that line. If you want this gun, you gotta come through us and take it.
One shot at a time. Just like Gonzales, we're keeping our guns.
Hi, I'm Steve.
I'm Irene.
I'm Lisa.
My name is Tom.
I'm a graphic designer.
College freshman.
Stay-at-home mom with a full-time job.
Scholar on social policy and a barista.
And I'm just like you.
I'm an Obama supporter.
I support President Obama.
But the president needs your help.
Our president can't launch into another war without you. And remember, we promise to support him no matter what.
Together, we can do it.
That's why we here at the Americans for Whatever Barack Obama Wants, Did You Know He's Friends with Jay-Z, have launched a Kickstarter campaign to fund World War III.
And America is dead ass broke. So our goal is to raise $1.6 trillion on behalf of the U.S. government.
That's where you come in.
Even a small donation would make all the difference.
When I first saw the president speak in 2008 in a YouTube clip posted to my Facebook page, I knew he was going to be right all the time. So I support World War III and IV and any moon war the president may want to start.
I mean, there is no way that he or the cabal of corporate interests, spy agencies, and shadow bankers that tell him what to do would ever mislead us. A $25 donation will get you a piece of rubble from a war-torn Middle Eastern country kissed by Senator Lindsey Graham.
A $100 donation gets you a day pass to leave your local refugee camp.
You'll probably end up in a refugee camp, but it'll have free Wi-Fi.
So please, help us reach our goal of $1.6 trillion so we can make World War III a reality. Why? Because Obama.
Because Obama.
paper money just doesn't get you what it used to, and we want to be prepared for a possible economic collapse. So visit sonsoflibertymint.com. They specialize in usable, divisible silver. Their signature product, the fine silver quarter, is the world's best bartering tool. Its unique design, shape, size make these 1/4 ounce, .999 fine silver bars a must-have addition to silver stackers everywhere. Don't wait to wish you had usable silver. Head over to sunsoflibertymint.com and load up on silver you can use today.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.
All right, we're back. This is the Copblock Radio Show. It's Wednesday, December 11th. And if you're listening to us on the podcast, make sure you check us out live every Wednesday night on the FPRN Radio Network. And we have a caller on the line. I believe you hung out with us still, right, man?
Yeah, I am. I'm still on.
So what do you got? You sound like you did your homework this week.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely just looking at the stuff, I'm looking more stuff, and I'm just pretty much into current events, mainly.
Yeah, you got any ones that you think that stuck out in your mind that we missed, or something we should definitely talk about? So it sounds like you're on RT
my mom
a lot,
actually put up a valid point. There was this thing that the IRS are targeting people and taking them out of their own homes. Like,
no surprise
for
there,
not paying
man.
the penalty on Obamacare.
So whenever
I'm gonna talk a little. Well, here's my mom if she wants to talk a little bit about it. Because
one of the main concerns is I claim repossessed homes and foreclosures in the past through subcontracted cleaning, and banks own hundreds of homes that are just sitting empty even right now. And anybody who's been targeted by the IRS knows that if you can't pay your taxes, then the IRS will target you and put liens on your homes and farms and businesses. And one of the major concern things that just happened this week is Colorado is going through the different schools for the and putting out a survey done by, I think it was Denver University or Colorado University.
I think it was like the Colorado Health Public Services.
It's funded by three major government organizations, and it's for lawmakers so that they can pretty much push parents into Obamacare. If you don't, one of the things I don't do is it's none of my school's business for my children who my doctors are, or what we've chosen to do as far as any elements that my children might have. That's between me and my doctor, and I signed a HIPAA agreement with them. And the school wants to know what insurance or how I pay for that. And frankly, it's none of their darn business how I pay for it, whether I pay for it out of pocket or whether, I have an alternative source for payment. And so now don't give the school your health insurance information thanks to Obamacare. They will tell social services, at which time you are forced into either participating in Obamacare or having your children taken from you and charged with neglect or child abuse. So I'm not impressed with that.
Yeah, there's been some things I don't really think that public school is a very good place for any child. Well, period.
Fuck no.
The problem is not enough parents. You're kind of in a rigged system now. In society, you almost have to have two parents working at this point. So to have two parents that are both parents are working, they don't have time to give their children a proper education. So the parents are almost forced into sending their children to public school. Well, the public school is controlled by, the curriculum is controlled by the government. Now they're bringing, this whole, Common Core thing. And I don't want to get into that either, but, you're almost in, like the prisoner's dilemma. So for somebody who gets who gets arrested and they just start stacking all these charges on them, there's nothing that you can do about it unless you choose to, lead a different lifestyle and provide your child with a more, an education that's more in line with your beliefs than the education that's being provided to them. So, I know people who have gone to private schools and switched to public schools, and whenever they switched out to a public school, their knowledge base was so far advanced compared to the children that they were, at that time going to school with. So, I mean, a public school is a bad idea in the first place, and it's not a place for a child to get an education. Just like going to college isn't about getting a job; it's about getting an education. Too many children go to college to get a job. That's not what college is for. It's to become, knowledgeable, not because I want to be something, but because I want to learn something. So, I mean, there's nothing that anybody's going to be able to do about the whole Obamacare thing. It is what it is. It starts January 1st, and as a citizen, we can bitch, piss, and moan as much as we want. But in the end, unless we do something about it and we take ourselves out of the equation, it is what it is.
True.
Does that make sense?
It does, and that's exactly kind of what happened. Is we went from private school to public school just so that I could work because I am a single parent.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly the indoctrination game. It's to get you into the system as go to school. That education is just simply based on being able to read information and recite it upon demand. It doesn't teach anybody how to think. It's just grow up, get a job, retire, pay taxes, blah, 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 follow the laws.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what about that? And I think I heard about it. It was the Texas cop that actually took out critical thinking, although public school doesn't want you to critically think anyways. So...
Yeah, they want you to be able to repeat and recognize, not think critically. It's not about thinking. It's about repeating and conformity.
Being a good consumer.
Yeah, it's like slave camp 101.
Exactly.
You got to be a cog in the wheel.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I think our producer's sleeping. Oh,
there he is.
I was trying to get a clip. I don't know if you guys had listened to the show last week. I had a really good clip
awesome.
From one of our friends who used to help out with Mike Salvy's World. Josie Wales posted it the other day, and it was just about the Pledge of Allegiance and how it's practically brainwashing. And by practically, I mean it is absolutely brainwashing.
Exactly. It's just pledging the government to actually to worship it.
Yeah. Did you tune in last week and hear the clip? We're gonna see if we can find it again, and we'll play it towards the end of the show. Was there anything else you want to talk about, man?
I don't know. I mean, there's a few things. I mean that I could speak about, but they're not really on the top of my head.
All right, man. We got a couple more articles here that we're gonna go over, but we appreciate you calling. Thanks for tuning in, man. We do the show live for a reason.
Nice. Well, thanks, I do appreciate that. Peace out, man.
Yep, right
there,
brother.
Love the anarchy.
Nice. So, he was talking about, I'm a big RT guy too. It's pretty bad that I trust a foreign government that's a bunch of friggin' communists. I trust their news more than I do. The idiots that we have here. So there was an article on RT that I saw the one day, and it was actually an article that was about Great Britain. And it was apparently at the University of London, there was a huge protest, and the protest was just called Cops Off Campus. And all these students had gotten together after, there were several acts of violence, and one of them, there was 41 students arrested in like a violent altercation with the cops, and I guess the kids just had enough of it, and they were like, we don't want this overreaching, overpowering arm of the state on our campus anymore, and they had this protest, and I have certain opinions. I'm obviously, if anybody's been listening to it for the past 20 minutes, I'm opinionated. But I like protests, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Protests are better than petitions. I refuse to sign a petition. That's bullshit.
Well, you have protests and you have peaceful gatherings and whatever, and then the cops always show up and want to turn it into a riot.
Right. You know, usually violence is initiated by the state because they know, you know, it's going to do nothing but help them and hurt the message. So, you know, they're the first ones to show up and be intimidating to the people who are being, you know, most of the time peaceful, sometimes not. But in the end, you know, it's always the person who uses the most force and the most violence that wins, and it's never the people.
Well, it's never the people here. I mean, if you look at the things that were going on in like Egypt earlier this year and around the rest of the world where they're protesting their governments and everything that they don't like, you know, it's just like here, you know, if you take all of the military and law enforcement personnel, it's like a 16th of the size of all of the armed Americans out there. And it just comes down to organization and getting everybody on the same page.
Nothing, Scott?
Nah, I don't know. I get like all excited, and then I'm just like, ugh. I just like get that whole disgusted thing back in my. I get the disgusted wind back in my sails, and I'm just like, oh man, this is just disgusting. Like, it's like I don't want to call it like the never-ending story, but it's just like Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to hear a good story.
I got a good one then.
I got a good one,
stuff
too.
that was exciting stuff. We got an update from the ladies of Copblock and their successful fundraising for their calendar, and from what I'm hearing, they're about done. They're getting there, and should have the calendars out on time from as far as I know. So we have a clip from oh wow, totally forgot her name now already. Was it Lauren Beth from Baltimore Copblock? Producer, you want to cue up that clip and let me know when it's all good to go, and we'll play that update.
Hello, Cop Blockers and Cop Block supporters and Kickstarter contributors. I wanted to give you guys an update on what was going on with the calendar since the Kickstarter was over. And we met our goal in like a day. So thank you guys for supporting us so much. It was awesome. We were jumping around and acting a fool. It was a lot of fun. And I was on the radio live when it was happening, so we like watched it happen live. So there was a little bit of time that we didn't account for because we didn't really realize that Kickstarter, you had to, there's time you have to wait while they approve things. And so that added an extra 2 weeks onto it. And then once the Kickstarter closed, you have to wait. It's like 2 to 3 weeks to get the money. So we're getting to the point now where the Kickstarter's closed and we'll get the money soon. So we can pay for a couple of things that we had to pay for, and then we can get started with the printing. So we're about a month behind. I wanted to have them done by the end of November. Now they're going to be done like right around Christmas time. So I'm going to try to have them to you guys by Christmas, but I'm not 100% sure if that's going to happen. So we had a couple girls that, couldn't do it for various reasons, but I had backup girls. So that's all taken care of. And we've got goodies coming in. We've got some surprises that are going to be really cool. Some volunteerist people decided to contribute some of their product to it. So you're going to have some fun stuff when it comes, not just the calendars. So I'll keep you guys updated with some some texts, and I'll put some letters in to let you guys know what's going on. And thank you guys so much for contributing, because this has been really awesome and a lot of fun. And us girls have gotten really close, and it's been pretty cool. So thank you guys, and start looking in the mail for your calendars soon. Oh, and before that, I'm going to be contacting you guys about your contact information so that I can figure out where I have to mail everything out to and all that. So, but I don't get that list until the money clears, so that'll be like a few more days. So expect an email from me, or I'm assuming it gives me your email. Be expecting an email from me soon. So be checking your inbox so I can get an address somewhere to send it to you when we're done. So thank you guys, and I'll talk to you soon in your email. Peace.
So I guess I was a little incorrect. A month behind.
When did they? I mean, I'm trying to think. That was a while ago. That I feel like that they did the Kickstarter video, because I remember talking about it. We had her on, and then they posted up the video. But that's cool, man. I was watching it, and I couldn't believe how fast the money came. It was like, holy crap, man. I can hear nothing.
I don't know about you, Scott, but you're echoing really bad.
I am. I was just gonna say, like, I can hear your freaking mute unmute, because I always forget to unmute myself, so I gave up on muting myself. Did you have another article that you wanted to talk about? A good one. Make it a good one, dude.
All right, I got the echo fixed. Sorry, I was getting very overwhelmed with the double voices there.
All right. So I got an article here, and this was a good one. And this was about a cop in Atlantic City, in New Jersey. And the dude, his name is Sergeant Mark Benjamin. He's a 16-year veteran of the police force. And he basically came out and said, like, he's been the witness to, plenty of misconduct. But I guess he saw an officer release a canine on a person, like, just, let him go. So this guy, Sergeant Benjamin, reported the misconduct. And apparently as soon as he did it, it escalated quickly for him. So there was a quote in here that just says, "It was like the masses turned against me. I reported things in reference to police misconduct, and with that came the hostilities. The technical term may be whistleblower, but I'm just a good cop and an upstanding citizen reporting misconduct." Like, these are the guys that we need to connect with. The ones that are willing to step up and do the right thing. Because in the end, that's what it's about, doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's had death threats, and he's had, harassment. And it's all because, as he said, he goes, I went against the blue code. They're calling him a rat. They're telling him they don't have any respect for him. I guess the news tried to get a hold of, the police chief, or whatever you want to call him, over in New Jersey. And he said he couldn't comment on the lawsuit or the threats or anything like that. But apparently the record shows the department has denied any wrongdoing, obviously, of course. But these are the kind of people, like, whenever we find people like this, these are the people that we should probably just reach out to and, like, tell them, like, show them some love, give them some support and be like, you're doing the right thing. Even though we don't agree with the system, like, we agree with what you're doing. And just go with, get that common ground down to where it's, he understands where we're coming from and we understand where they're coming from, and start to build that relationship to where, he's in a better position to where he can actually do something about it, and continue to do the right thing. That guy, he's all right.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. He's willing to do all that.
Here's a guy who commented on the article, and he was talking about the movie he was talking about Serpico. Go watch the movie Serpico.
No, I haven't, actually.
What? You have not?
Nope.
Oh, man. You're grounded.
I'm grounded.
Well, at least you'll have plenty of time to watch it.
Yeah.
That's right.
I haven't seen it.
Go ahead. You haven't seen it either?
Nope.
You guys don't drink nearly enough beer.
No, I don't.
No. So, I found another article here, and I did some traveling recently, and I let the TSA agent know that I would like to have my penis touched right in front of everyone, so it could be awkward for both of us, and so that other people could watch. So apparently in Houston, Texas, the TSA is playing over the loudspeaker threatening messages, and it's broadcasting warnings that people will be arrested for making jokes in front of the agents. Like, how ridiculous is that? Like, now you cannot talk about how much a BS our charade is. And apparently, it over the loudspeaker, it's repeatedly heard saying, "You are also reminded that any inappropriate remarks or jokes concerning security may result in your arrest." For what? Like, what am I being arrested? What am I being arrested for?
Resisting arrest.
For joking about our security.
Yeah,
it is not flawed.
It's really cool that this article was on Police State USA, and they actually have I don't know if it's a tweet here or a quote, but it's from Jordan Page, and anybody who's listening to the show knows who Jordan Page is. He's a musician that is also part of the Liberty Movement, and he is quoted here. It says, quote, "Any comments or jokes about security may lead to your immediate arrest." And he just talks about how it's at George Bush Airport. So he must have been doing some traveling, and he was just he called shenanigans on it right then and there. So your free speech is now restricted to the free speech zone only in the airports. Sorry for the inconvenience.
And that would be what, the parking lot?
No, not even that.
Speaking of the parking lots, I think I X'd that article out. There was an article that I was reading, and they were saying how if your car is parked on airport property, it is now subject to warrantless searches.
Yeah.
I trust you to not go through my stuff and also not take anything. Sure.
Well, yeah, because you've hopped on a plane and who knows where you are, and they could just, they could totally strip your car out, part it out, and sell everything that they can. And when you come back, there's an empty space.
Mm-hmm. I have a hard enough time remember where I parked my car to begin with, let alone if it's gone.
Right. The only thing you can trust them to do is molest you in front of everybody else in the airport, but now they want you to extend that trust to going through your car, not destroying anything, not stealing anything. Yeah, I'm still dumbfounded that the people haven't stood up to this and actually gotten rid of the TSA. Everybody knows it has done no good. It's done more damage. And I think, honestly, it's costing the airlines money, because people like myself, I don't care how far I have to go. If there's not a train or a road that I can get there myself, I'm not going to go. It's not that important. I'm not going to violate myself by some stranger touching me just so I can get on an airplane. That doesn't make me feel safer. That makes me feel like a 15-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm. I never get they're always like, "Oh, you're going to get a pat down from this guy." I'm like, "No, get me that chick over there with the fake ones." Like,
right, exactly.
Like, bring that girl over here. Like, this is ridiculous. That guy's old, and he's probably going to enjoy this, and I won't. If someone's going to enjoy it, it should be me. You're at least getting paid to do this.
I do not enjoy getting patted down by a 400-pound guy who couldn't even get a job at McDonald's. He's all sweaty and way too excited to do it
because he's not making $15 an hour. Because you're not worth it. Like, that shit pisses me off so bad. You don't deserve $15 an hour. I'm sorry.
I'm not the only one. I work a pretty labor-intensive job, and I don't even make $15 an hour. And you're going to tell me that I got to go into McDonald's to buy fake food by somebody who hasn't graduated high school, who's going to make more money than me? That's
right.
Hell, don't work at McDonald's. Just sign up to be a cop. You can have more fun. You actually get to violate rights, not just food orders.
You can carry a gun anywhere you go.
Yep. Anybody pisses you off, you get to shoot them for no reason and get away with it.
Yeah. I mean, at least at McDonald's, if you spit in food, that's a $1,500 fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, cops, they get a couple weeks paid vacation for killing somebody.
Paid vacation, some time off, you know.
Yeah, you want fries with that? Good point.
I'm just waiting for a cop to actually, have left McDonald's, became a cop, shoot somebody, and be like, well, he wanted fries with that.
All right, guys. We'll be back in a minute to have some more fun talking about this. You're listening to the Copblock Radio Show on FPRN.
In spots, Grandmaster Buddha, hooking up the magic. I'm turning it back with the stickity crack kids. Yes, it's the newest hot stuff.
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Same Side is a source for activists and liberty organizations to connect with well-known leaders in today's growing movement for sustainable living, personal liberty, and sovereignty issues. Same Side has a variety of keynote speakers, debate panels, interactive web presentations, musicians, and liberty-based entertainment, as well as services for web design, graphic design, video, and photography. Same Side can help customize your event by connecting you to the best of the liberty and political world while staying within your budget. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Bob Murphy, Michael Scheuer, John Bush, Jordan Page, Tatiana Moroz, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.
Obamacare. Fun. Cool. YOLO. At Obamacare, we believe in saying the words affordable health care so that young people will love us and sign up like lemmings. Sure, you pay 2.5% of your income in penalties, but young people don't have to worry about that because you don't have a job. Work sucks. That's why we at Obamacare want to trade your full-time job for a part-time one. So you'll have more time for fun things, like watching millionaire celebrities tweet about how affordable we are. Obamacare. Just like guys enjoy premium leather seats, so too you'll enjoy paying triple the healthcare premiums out of your new part-time salary. Speaking of guys, ever been on a mandate before? At Obamacare, we're full of mandates. But don't worry, big corporations get exempt, so you don't have to. It's fun paying for things you don't even use. Yeah, you work out, stay healthy. But come on, brah. Someone's got to pay for people who smoke, drink 85-ounce sodas, and live in a Barcalounger. So enjoy your premium hikes, young people of America, because everyone loves hikes. Obamacare. If millionaire celebrities can afford us, why can't you? A message from the White House Office of Obamacare. Propaganda to get young people to love us and sign up like lemmings.
Tired of living in a violent society? If every citizen was armed, no one would be dumb enough to shoot people. It's exactly the ethos our founding fathers had when they wrote the Constitution and then changed it, which is what makes it sacred now. Come mingle with safety-minded people like you at the Liberty City Gun Club. Our nation is still the world leader in one thing: armaments. Nothing says excitement like a night out with a small caliber semi-automatic weapon. Get social at the Liberty City Gun Club.
Well, yeah, it's getting tough out there. Yeah, no doubt. I work in home invasions, mostly. Some murder, occasional rape, if she's hot, or really bitchy. And I'm a huge advocate of gun control, absolutely. Every time I kick in a door or smash a window, I face the possibility of being shot and killed. Allowing citizens to own guns creates a hostile work environment for me and my associates. No one should have to work under those conditions. I say make them all illegal, absolutely. I mean, I break the law for a living. I'm a professional, so it doesn't really bother me. No doubt. No doubt.
Your local violent criminals work hard and put their lives on the line every time they attempt to murder, rape, abduct, or assault a member of the citizenry. They desperately need your help. With your support, there may finally come a day when a violent criminal can have his way with you or someone you love without the fear, anxiety, and stress caused by knowing there's a possibility his victim might be armed.
Please show your support by voting for stronger anti-gun legislation, because criminals prefer unarmed citizens.
Get over to sonsoflibertymint.com right now. Secure your wealth by trading in those pesky Federal Reserve notes for Sons of Liberty Mint's fine silver quarters. These 1/4 ounce bars, square in shape and stamped "Trust in Yourself," are unlike any other traditional round. With 4 pieces per ounce, you'll not only be investing in sound money, but you'll also be purchasing usable, divisible silver. Don't get stuck with ferns or bulky silver bars. Visit sunsoflibertymint.com today and invest in silver you can use.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.
Free crime, Minority Report style, might soon become a reality, where the feds can find a criminal before they strike.
A suite of real-time, non-invasive sensors measure behavioral and physiological indications of malintent, or the intent or desire to cause harm.
I can't stand that spraying way up high. I don't like that eye up in the sky. I'm not the type of guy to cry, but I must know the reason why. I'm curious as I can be about anything concerning me.
All right, we are back. This is the Copblock Radio Show. We're in the last segment of the show, and I have Adam and Anthony with me. Eric's still MIA. He's out gallivanting around Keene. Did we talk last week, Adam, about the charges being dropped against the Robin Hooders from Keene?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, Eric brought that up.
Right on. Awesome. Yeah. Did you also see that the city is appealing the charges being dropped?
Oh, of course they are. Well, that's
of course, it's not their money.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
You're stealing from us because you aren't letting us write tickets.
Right. You big jerks. We're trying to do our jobs and take your money.
Well, there they all are.
Well, I figure for a slight change up, we kind of touch on this article that I'd read a couple weeks ago, and it's come back around to me. It's about an LA traffic cop who has a record number of complaints. And interestingly enough, his captain went through his record, 20 years of employment and over 25,000 traffic stops. This cop has 0 complaints against him. That's right.
I've heard about that, dude.
0 complaints out of over 25,000 traffic stops.
Yeah, I've heard about him, and he was there a video that was with that?
There was. I'm actually digging for it right now.
Okay, because they talked to him, like the guy was like pretty level-headed, and he was like, I treat people how we want to be treated. Like,
Yeah,
he's like,
and
all right, have a nice, like, he's very polite. And it was like, well, no shit, he's doing his job. Thank you for doing your job. You're not going to get a promotion, but you might get a raise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unreal.
No, that's awesome. It's good
25,000 stops, you said.
Yeah, 25,000 stops. It's not one complaint ever filed. 0.
Well, like his captain said, Vegas and MIT couldn't give odds of this actually happening. You figure, every time I've ever gotten a traffic ticket, I would love to go complain about the cop. It's just not worth my time because I know nothing's going to happen. But 25,000 stops and not one single person has gotten pissed to the point that they called in and said, I got a ticket unjustly or anything. The video that I had seen when I first came across this, the news had actually interviewed a few people who'd just gotten traffic tickets, and they were actually rather happy about it.
Wow. I can tell you, I'm guaranteed not to be happy when I get a ticket. Well, when I have gotten tickets.
Yeah, no, people were smiling and everything. He leaves you with the, hey, you made a mistake, and here's a ticket, and whatever, and, you know, there's no reason to be a dick about it. And I am not finding the video for this.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, when was that? That was a while ago, I thought.
Yeah, the article I'm looking at on CBS was actually posted back in August, but it's...
Mine has a video.
Yours has a video. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, he was, you know, that guy he was, you know, a good cop. He took his job seriously, but he was like, hey, you know, this is how it is. Not a dick about it. Didn't, you know, try to infringe on anybody's rights. I'm sure he still gave people fines for victimless crimes, which I don't agree with, but that's beside the point. So we're trying to pull up this article, this video. I have the article here, and this one is like this is not a cool one. So this one talks about a possible homicide cover-up. That was the victim was actually an inmate in an Ohio prison in Georgetown, Ohio, and what they're alleging in the article is that the inmate was killed by the security guards after trying to escape the prison, and the coroner did their report. What happened was they found him hanging from a sprinkler head on a 9-foot ceiling, and they did the calculations and looked at it, and they're like, there's physically no possible way this person could have done this by themselves. So they're actually looking into it, and ironically enough, they tried to contact the head of the prison, and he was like, this is BS. Well, ironically enough, his child, one of the guards, happened to be the person that found him. So it sounds to me like Pete actually got a chance to call in. Are you there, Pete?
Yeah, I'm here with y'all.
Good.
What's
Hey,
up,
man,
Pete?
how are you?
I'm doing well. How you guys been?
Doing awesome, man.
Really good, man. Thanks for calling in. What's up?
Oh, yeah. No, I just, I had a question to run past, get some input from y'all maybe, but related to the L.A. story you were talking about with the tickets and stuff. You may have seen there was a story that came out yesterday where it says the LAPD officers punished for not meeting ticket quotas won $5.9 million settlement. And so I saw some people sharing that, saying, oh, this is great. It's saying these ticket quotas aren't good things, but, if you think about it, how is this settlement being paid for? Like, the folks in the area are being fleeced one way or the other, so. But,
yeah,
but anyway, I was curious. I'm kind of working on creating a couple pieces of content and been soliciting ideas from people and wanted to see if y'all had any input. One of them is just a new page on the site to essentially lessen the learning curve for people to, know their rights and know how to go about filming the police and the technology they can use and streaming apps and stuff like that. So I was curious if you guys had any thoughts on, if someone's brand new to this whole police accountability movement, what would be good information to present them with about filming the police. And then second, I was thinking about doing maybe a contest. When Garrett and I and Jacob Crawford were on the road the past, few months or whatever, a lot of people suggested that it was key to reach out to teenagers and high schoolers. So I was curious to hear if you guys had any thoughts on what specifically we should, what might be effective to reach teenagers.
I got a couple suggestions, Pete. I've actually done some outreach with, some teenagers in my town, and I had some free time. And what I did was I actually just took the business cards, and I bought those off the website. And I mean, this is a while ago. I took the business cards up, and the school has a school resource officer who comes out and he kicks all the kids away from this school. Kids that walk to their cars and stuff. And I would just be like, hey guys, how's it going? You got some time to talk? And I just gave out a lot of business cards, and people were really cool about it. Because here they have somebody who is, more in tune to what they're thinking and what they're feeling, and, they're getting harassed. And, perfect example, whenever you have, the school resource officer coming out and telling people that they can't stand on a public sidewalk and talk to their friends after school. I'm telling you, those business cards, I carry them with me everywhere. Those are huge. I don't know why. They're just easy to carry too. People stick it in their pocket, they'll forget about it. I've given them out in the bar, anywhere I go, I have those. You guys did an awesome job. As far as the new page, one thing that I think that you might want to try to, and it'll probably take some work, but if you can get something along the lines of like a know your rights for the states. 50 states is a lot to do. Start with where the big chapters are. So you can have a link to where it's like, okay, this is the expectation of privacy law here. This is a law here. This is a law here. And get those linked to different, I don't know, almost like an offshoot of that page. So people can say, well, I'm from Pennsylvania or I'm from California. I can click on that page and it's like, oh, this is the go-to for Pennsylvania. Almost kind of like a heads up. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but if you can make it state specific, because that's how the laws are.
Yeah, it does. I appreciate it. And thanks for doing that outreach to the school, kids at the school. That's awesome. And the reminds me when I was down in North Carolina last year, I was by this one shopping complex at midnight or whatever, late in the night. It just turned into sort of like a gathering space for a bunch of sort of Fast and the Furious type cars and whatever. So just went out there and did a bunch of outreach, and everyone was real receptive. So that was good to hear your story. But the page you mentioned, I did. Right now, I have sort of. I plan to make a graphic that has all the states, listed by color in terms of its one-party or two-party consent, and then you can maybe click on it and have some more info. So, yeah, I appreciate that suggestion. That I'll definitely make that happen.
What do you got, Adam? I know you're.
I'd have to fully agree with you on the cards. Those cards are extremely useful. I've handed out tons of them. I know we've made flyers for the show, and I've handed out tons of those. I usually try to do that at big events we have here in Spokane for like the fairs or the parades and stuff. Try to go down and just hand out and just communicate with people and hand out stuff, and it seems to work great. Always got positive feedback. I know obviously we've got enough for Spokane because we actually generated enough Bitcoin the other day to purchase a new camera for Spokane Copblock, so pretty excited about that. As far as the website goes, my suggestion for that, for the as far as you were talking about the live streaming and educating people on how to get involved with Copblock and how to do it to protect themselves, I think you should have a good portion on there of, well, obviously you already have the apps of which apps work good. I think it would be better if we could have a comment section that would let us put feedback in on these apps, because there's a few of them I've used that I actually kind of don't like because they are still accessible from the phone and can be deleted and removed from the internet even without actually having to like log in if you're streaming the video to the internet. So I kind of don't like that, with the fact that the cop confiscates your phone and decides he wants to delete the video. It's actually gone even though you live streamed it. And then other than that would be the part where you got the law part for the two-party consent, one-party consent. The other piece would be totally just lost it. It was right there on the tip of my tongue.
Another thing that you could do with that, trying to get the learning curve, is get contact info for people like in different regions or different areas. Like trying to, how we talk about making it state specific, but like make it almost to where it's a network or a hub to where you can meet other people or, get advice, like almost like a forum type thing where you can say, hey, okay, that guy's in charge in this area. I can get a hold of him and he can kind of be like my mentor, that if I want to go and do something, I can hang out with that guy or I can do whatever. If there's somewhere that you can make it more personal to where it's not just you're going and you're reading something, make it more personal and make that connection with somebody, it's going to go a lot further, I think.
Yeah. All right, so I finally... Oh, sorry, Pete. I got my thing back. It's on the tip of my tongue again, so if I can spit that out really fast.
Write it down.
But basically, it would be the part of the knowledge of knowing how to protect oneself in the manner of knowing how to recover deleted data, because that seems to be a pretty big issue if the police try to delete your video. I think we should have a portion on there, links to sites and information of how to recover deleted data from a phone or camera, how to recover that information, because it's really not that difficult to do, and I think it takes 10-20 minutes of reading to really understand the concept of how to do it. So I think that would be important to inform people on how to do that, and also alliterating the fact of always having backup cameras, multiple cameras, a cell phone in your pocket just doing audio, things like that. I think that's a big portion of teaching people how to protect themselves if they're going to go out and do this.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea on how to best recover deleted footage. I know it's happened to me a couple times, and initially we relied on a friend, but yeah, it's definitely, it's just, I guess, a process. So yeah, that's a good suggestion. I appreciate it, and I'll definitely include that.
Well, we've got one more suggestions out of the chat here online. Someone was talking about leaving stacks of cop block cards at the skate shops, and I'd go ahead and expand on that and say even at the head shops and just any of those areas where people go where the kids are getting tired of getting messed with and everything, and bring to their attention, like whenever I'm on Facebook and somebody posts any article, whether I've seen it 100 times or not, about cops doing this or that, I always send them a link to the cop block page, kind of just reminding them, hey, we're out there, and hopefully that they get into checking it out.
Yeah, excellent. That's a great audience to reach, and we've had I definitely find a lot of success with like in tattoo shops as well, skate shops, head shops. These are all good, so that's good. And if you guys have ideas on how to make a better piece of outreach literature, I'm definitely all ears as well. If we can make something that's like pretty even better, that's more informative, maybe specific links or something like that, or.
Yeah, we can show. We put one together for just the radio show. I mean, it's got the logo and stuff on there, but it's got all the info. I mean, we could change it around a little bit and do something, because I'll take either the flyer and post it up at, like, I posted up at gun shops too, even though I know there's people there who are interested and there's people there who aren't, but. I take the flyer and I post it up on like any of the community boards, or I'll take business cards. Like whenever I go to the grocery store, same thing, and just post them up on the little cork boards there.
Well, the good thing about using the gun shops there is not only you're reaching new people who should be involved in that, but any of the Leos that do decide to go in there, it also reminds them that we are there.
Yeah.
Definitely. All good stuff.
We should make up some static window clings and give them to the cops.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Pete, thanks for calling in. Anything else we can help you with, or anything else you got going on?
No, I mean, just a couple of days ago, I spoke with a guy, a Border Patrol employee down at an internal checkpoint, and it was good to hear from him. He's an oath keeper, and he said it sounds like they're working on a story to share with others his discontent with how his speaking out has been handled. He's gotten some repercussions from saying, hey, that we don't have a right to do this, or this isn't a constitutional protected thing, and his higher-ups been coming down on him. And so both he and the winner of the checkpoint contest we did last spring, they suggested we just do a big, get hundreds of people to turn out to these internal checkpoints and do like a rolling checkpoint civ dis sometimes. So that's something I've been chewing on to see if it might be feasible to get people to go to all these internal checkpoints, on some date at some point, and just, not engage at all, and just put it out there. Maybe see if we can get it real big and get it on people's radars. But we'll see. I'm kind of curious about that. See if that has some legs.
Nice, man. That was one of the big things whenever I, started to question things more. The checkpoint videos that the guys were doing, it was like, I mean, I'm up till 2 o'clock in the morning just watching video after video, falling down the YouTube rabbit hole. But the checkpoint videos are always really good ones, and that's cool that you actually got a guy that was an oath keeper. That's a good score.
Yeah, right on. Right on. All right, guys, keep it up.
All right, man.
Oh,
Pete,
yeah.
thanks. Take care. Be safe out there.
Thanks, Pete.
All right. Stay safe.
Thanks, man. Well, that was cool.
That was good timing.
Like, yeah.
A visit from the man.
Yeah, a visit from the man.
I think that he found the diamond in the rough whenever he was talking about the Border Patrol agent that was an oath keeper also. Like, that's the diamond in the rough right there, dude.
Oh, dude. Lucked out. That's good stuff.
First and only. I hope he makes friends.
That's as good as winning a lottery ticket or anything else. I mean, it's a rare one.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a good reminder that there are those oath keepers out there who know what they signed up and signed up for the right reason.
We just need to find more of them and get connected better with them.
So before Pete called in, I was like, okay, we got Pete. We wanted to make sure we had enough time for him to, get his message out there. We were talking about this article, and we got the clip queued up, and let's play that.
On October 5th, Zachary Goldson assaulted and tried to escape from a Brown County corrections officer. That's not disputed, but when he wound up dead, hanging in his cell alone less than an hour after that assault, his family and others had many questions.
What's your name, Trash?
Right, Goldson.
Speak up, I can't hear you.
Goldson.
This is video from an officer's dash cam, recorded early in the morning, October 5th. Investigators say minutes before, Zachary Goldson assaulted an officer and tried to take his gun.
Hey, what is wrong with you, you stupid? I'd like to break your neck right now. Yeah. Welcome hard when you get to jail.
According to the coroner's investigation notes, 21 minutes after this video was taken, Zachary Goldson was found hanging by a sheet in his jail cell. This week, the coroner ruled Goldson's death homicide by strangulation. Dr. Judith Varno writes, it would be physically impossible for a 6'1" individual to reach the sprinkler to tie the knots the way it was secured.
At first I thought it was a suicide until all the information started coming in, and then there was so much evidence that it became clear that something was wrong.
Christina Dennis says her son never threatened to hurt himself before. She doesn't know what happened to Zachary, but she's deeply disturbed by what she heard from the officers on the video.
When you see the dash cam video and you see that confrontation, and this is minutes before he was found dead,
Yes.
What do you feel?
Very sad and just and angry at the same time, not knowing what was going through his mind, if he knew what was going to happen to him.
Chief Deputy John Shadle wouldn't discuss details because he says BCI has an open investigation. But Shadle believes the coroner's ruling is politically motivated.
I think if you review the facts, as I understand them, I don't know what facts will lead to the conclusion of a homicide. And I think BCI's report will probably spell that out in detail.
I mean, do you think politics are involved here in the decision to rule it a homicide?
I think yes.
Chief Deputy John Shadle says BCI has not concluded their investigation, but he hopes that that conclusion will come in the next couple of days. In Brown County, Jason Law, 9 on your side.
Yeah, it smells a little fishy.
Doesn't sound like it adds up very well.
No, not at all.
I mean, what, one of the really shocking things is just the tone and the demeanor of these guys in, the dash cam video and how common it is. They just have absolutely no respect for, the private citizen anymore.
Can't hear you, Scott. You faded out.
Oh, I was turning in and out. I was just saying they don't have any respect for the private citizen anymore. They don't have to. They're no longer required to do a good job. It doesn't matter. once they sign that or say that oath, they're in there like swimwear, man.
I don't get where he doesn't understand the evidence. I mean, 6 foot tall, can't reach 9 feet. That's pretty simple. I mean, children understand that one.
Yep. Well, that's all we got for this week's show, guys. Thanks for tuning in. You've been listening to the Copblock Radio Show on FPRN.com. Make sure you tune in weekly every night on Wednesdays from 9:30 to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And remember that badges don't grant extra rights.
Keep those cameras rolling.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.